You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Jay Kaplan's in the house. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
See that? I've got the audience all queued up for you.
Right.
We're all ready to...
I feel special.
Exactly. There we go. But, something every once in a while, Jay. I don't want you to go too far with it.
Okay.
Bad feeling about this.
There we go. Let's catch a little bit more fun in there. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And of course, we celebrate every day generally, and Jay is great for this one because Jay and I can join in on this together.
With food.
For some, there you go, Jay. How could we know that? Jay and I are on the same page on this. Both of us have beaten anorexia. We are right there, all completely recovered. We have anorexia is not in the house. So I looked at the celebrations today. I saw it was National Michigan Day. Not a whole lot of excitement out of that one. Pardon?
I'm from Michigan.
Are you? Well, we won't.
400 and some odd years ago, yeah.
Was it a state then?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Okay, just checking. And then I looked and I saw it was National Thesaurus Day. Okay. I don't know about that one. Get to know your customers day. That'll work. I mean, if you're in any kind of a business, get to know your customers. That's always a good one. And then I looked, Jay, you and I can go for this one, I think. Although it might be a little bit too healthy.
Uh-oh.
National Peking Duck Day.
No, it's okay.
Right? I mean, it's...
That comes with a lot of sides, too.
So exactly.
A lot of noodles, a lot of,
A lot of noodles. You get some Kung Pao chicken. And,
well, the duck is, good.
Okay, we'll go stick with that one. I think we can live there. Let's check the market. Ooh, the markets. What are the markets doing this morning? They're big-time roller coaster. We keep watching the roller coaster each and every day. Today we are down. It's down 111 points on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. 26,003.
Wow.
Did we say 26,003? Holy cow, the markets have been going crazy. And we're looking oil down 2 cents a barrel. That won't matter for us in Taxifornia. We'll keep raising the prices. Then I looked over and saw what the bonds are doing. We always have to watch the bonds because that's where our seniors live. Our seniors, in many instances, fixed income. Fixed income means some sort of a bond. The safest bond in the world is the U.S. 10-year Treasury. 2.605 is the yield on that 10-year Treasury right now, up 3 basis points on the yield. Remember, that's the interest rate. That is not the price of the bond. We always compare those two because we want to know what's going on there. How else would we know what the 30-year mortgage bonds are doing? Well, that bond is down 11 basis points, the bond price, which means interest rates are up. Anytime the bond goes down, the rate goes up. Rates go up, down, the bond goes up. Just a mathematic function. So being Thursday morning, I figured, something, maybe we should look and see what does Freddie Mac tell us about the 30-year mortgage market. Well, 4.04. Yeah, we went up from 3.99 last week. Now, those of you that are going to call me and say, Ron, I heard you say that you can get a 4.04 interest rate. Why is it that my lender is not quoting that number? Well, it's very simple. Whenever you see interest rates being quoted, they're utopia. If you are the best of the best, if it's the best of the best scenario, that's when you're going to see that price, and you could get that price. So if you're looking at a purchase loan, 40% down payment under the conforming loan limits, and you pay 0.6 of a point to buy it down, that's the averages right there, then you can get a 4.04. Now, do you know anybody that lives in a perfect world? Well, other than Jay.
in here.
Right?
Only
in his mind. Okay. So we don't live in a perfect world. There is no utopia. So the issue there is you're not going to get that 4.04 because you are unique. And the rates are always based on what your unique situation is. Your unique situation tells us that you may have less than stellar credit. You may not have 40% down payment. There's all kinds of different issues in there, right? That's the whole idea. You may be looking at a condo and not a single family residence. These are all things that are going to go into the pricing. Okay, so 4.04, it's going to be that single family residence, purchase money, 40% down payment, stellar credit, great debt to income ratio. All that is part of it. If you're not there, then you get your unique rate, and that's where the difference comes in. Now, I did share this with you. Think about this one. Last year, or last week, we were at 3.99% interest, and we compared that to the prior year at 4.12. Prior year has dropped. Prior year went from 4.12 a week earlier to 4.09. What does that mean for today? Nothing. But what does it mean? What it tells me when I look at that is the interest rates were starting to come back down a little bit last year at this time. Do you think that's going to happen again? Well, if I knew that, I wouldn't be doing a radio show every morning. I'd be playing the bond market. But I just share with you because sometimes history does repeat itself. And if you don't know these things, how can you act upon them? That's the point of that. So this morning I did notice when the markets opened up, the bonds were up again. The bonds were down again. Interest rates were up again. And we looked at that and we say, okay, what's causing that to happen? Well, the Federal Reserve is currently buying $8 billion less per month of the bonds as compared to where they were. They're going to be increasing that to a $12 billion reduction in their purchases starting in April. That's the unwinding of quantitative easing that was taking place over the last decade. So as that continues to unwind, there's less demand, which means that the pricing can fluctuate up a little bit. Also we see initial jobless claims that were 220,000 claims last week. Represented a drop of 41,000 from the prior report. That's a little bit on the good side for us. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. On the housing front, housing starts for December were down 8.2% at a 1.192 million unit pace, which was weaker than the 1.28 million unit pace expected, lowest reading since September. The cause of the drop was a 12% decline in single family starts, as multifamily remains stable. Are you thinking about that? Now, in Southern California, we've been contemplating this coming up. There's a lot more desire for the multifamily units. And it's ironic enough because our friend Jay Kaplan fits right into this.
I don't fit many things.
No, Jay, you know something? You're a unique individual.
Yeah.
Many people say that.
Yeah.
Right? But the millennials want the multifamily properties because they don't want to have a car. They want to get the culture. They want to be using public transportation, which is kind of where you live.
Yeah.
Right? That you're unique. There's not a lot of folks that are no disrespect intended, but at your age, right? They're not changing to the point of saying, okay, I'm going to give up my car if I can go and get on a train and go somewhere. Right? If you're in the East Coast, they do that.
Yeah, well, in the East Coast, they've done that a long, long time.
Right. But in Southern California, you're unique in that
starting
way.
to mix, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
So that brings up a good question. Then I can throw that at you, Jay. Is when you're on the public transportation, when you're on the metros and the trains and the like,
Which I do a lot.
right?
Yeah.
What is the demographic that you're seeing? Is it mostly young people, middle-aged, elder?
It's all across the board, really, depending on where you are. When I take a Metrolink from Orange County to LA, which is $10 for round trip, not just because you're old, anybody.
Okay.
Includes all the buses, all the subways, all the light rails. Metrolink is usually a much younger crowd.
Okay.
And visitors doing that. Now, during the week, of course, it's going to work, and that's a different story. That's a different thing.
But something it used to be that even going to work,
you never had a choice before until back to the red lines. But
okay.
You didn't have a choice.
Yeah, because Southern California, the freeway was the only option.
Yeah, so I'd say the Metrolink or Amtrak is completely across the board. It starts getting into probably more working class when you get into the different light rails, subways, and the buses used to be always thought of as the third tier down as far as, let's just say, quality of people,
right,
and quality of experience. But I'm finding that too is increasing. The buses are getting much nicer, actually, inside.
So we don't have as many of the buses that are all covered in graffiti.
I've got that friend of mine that retired from the World Bank that I did a reverse mortgage for, by the way, and we meet every Sunday because he's a foodie like me, except he's skinny. And
how can you get away with that?
He comes from Bel Air, goes to his Equinox gym, and then takes the bus to meet me when I've come by the train, and then we meet somewhere in between. And
okay, so we are starting to see some public transportation out there. Good news there. Speaking of good news, I know that some people are not going to think this is good news, but Apple. Did you see what Apple announced this morning? It might have been last night. $350 billion they're going to bring back to the U.S. because of the tax plan. And they're going to create 20,000 new jobs, giving their employees $2,500 in stock warrants. Holy cow, they're going to pay $38 billion in taxes to the federal government, all based on this repatriation. I know Nancy Pelosi thinks that that's just crumbs. It's $1,000. To me, I'm not quite there yet. So if somebody wants to send me $1,000, please feel free. I'll put my address right there in the chat window. So if you're looking at it, you want to find a place to give. Jay, would you take $1,000 if someone wants to send it to you?
No question.
Bring it. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I know it's crumbs, and something. Hey, at my size, I take any crumb I can possibly. I'll take a lot of crumbs. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, what impact will the new tax code have on home values? How to talk to a credit bureau? The most affordable beach towns in 2018. And yes, you can buy a home with a reverse mortgage. Jay Kaplan's going to tell us exactly how to do that. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. Tax code. We're going to talk about that impact on home values also. Talk to you soon. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Good morning, Scott, Chris, Brian, Arn, glad to see you. Another Scott, Jeffrey, glad you're with us. Bobby Joe, glad to see you. Robert, Tom, good to see you with us as well. Robert, let's do it. Always love to chat real estate with people that have a knowledgeable base. That's we like to share great information with folks. So let's set a date when we can chat about having you come on and share some great information with our community. We're always looking for, diversity of opinion. I think one of the things that I believe that we try to do on Ron Siegel Radio consistently is bring on, and on our community pages, is bring a diversity of opinions. I certainly have one. Not everybody agrees with it. Heck, Jane, I don't even agree with things on a lot of political issues.
Yeah, but at least we can talk about it.
Exactly. That's the important part, Jay, is that, something, one of the things that, I say this all the time, right, is you and I differ probably 100% politically, but I believe that I can learn from you.
And vice versa.
Right? And I don't know that I'm going to change my mind, but I like the idea that when you have a respectful debate, you can learn. Right? When you start seeing some of these stupid things on Facebook and on some of the social media channels, when people start getting personal, is there a reason for that? Do you think you're going to get any value out of that? It's just my opinion. But let's get to the real-time real estate segment, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text Toolkit to 79564. The ultimate home finance toolkit. It's waiting for you. Text Toolkit. What impact will the new tax code have on home values? Every month, CoreLogic releases its Home Price Insights report. In that report, they forecast where they believe residential real estate prices will be in 12 months. I shared a map earlier today broken down by state reflecting how home values are forecasted to change by the end of 2018 using data from the most recent report. Forecasted year-over-year percentage change in price for the United States is 4.2%. For California, 8.4%. Now you tell me where you're going to get better than an 8.4% return on the investment, because think about this. When CoreLogic gives out this number of 8.4%, they're not quite comparing it. So you can't say 8.4% and then say, okay, well, last year the stock market was up, 25-30%. Well, when you say, Ron, no, I'd rather be in the stock market. Well, let's think about this. Let's do a little bit of math for you. If you put 10% down, and we shared with you yesterday, that's about the norm for the average for across all age groups, 10%. Well, now you're looking at an 84% forecasted return, because you get the 8.4 on the full amount, not just on your down payment or your equity position. So as you can see, CoreLogic projects an increase in home values in 49 out of 50 states. I did not find which is the one state that does not have a projected increase. I think it's Hawaii, and that's just because they didn't have enough data for Hawaii. But 49 out of 50 states. DC, there was insufficient data again for Hawaii. Nationwide, they see home prices increasing by 4.2%. How might the new tax code impact these numbers? Again, we look at the National Association of Realtors. They conducted their own analysis to determine the impact the new tax code may have on home values. And I quote, estimated home prices will change in the upcoming year for each state, considering the impact of the new tax law and the momentum of jobs and housing inventory. Now think about this, and I'm not a big fan of some of these numbers, because taxes are only one reason that people buy a property. There are a lot of other reasons, and we also look and we say, okay, what about supply and demand? That's got to be a big factor in there also. So if you've got the supply and demand, now they're saying that it's going to bring down the pricing in Southern California, and I'm not a big believer of that. But the National Association of Realtors says it's going to go from the impact of taxes for California, 8.4% to 1.1% based on the new tax code. Do you believe it? I see some professionals on there. Robert, what do you think? Linda, what do you think? Brandy, what do you think about some of these things? Give me an idea on there. According to NAR, the new tax code will have an impact on home values across the country. However, the effect will be much less significant than what some originally thought. Also in California, they can't put this number in there, but the California Association of Realtors is diligently working right now. Jay, I don't know if you're familiar with this one either, but this will be a big issue in your world. Is the California Association of Realtors is working diligently and getting petitions out to make the property tax portability uniform throughout the entire state.
That would be nice.
And they're also looking at making it so you can buy a more expensive property as well as a equal or less
They've
expensive
been working on that
property.
for a while, right? So,
well, the petitions are out trying to get it on the 2018 ballot.
Okay.
And you can do it as many times as you want according to the what they're trying to do. So if you're inclined, if you deal with a senior, if you are a senior or you love a senior, you might want to look into that. Any one of those groups, right?
Yeah.
And that's the Real-Time Real Estate segment. Get your ultimate home finance toolkit, text toolkit to 79564. So Jay.
Oh, me?
Let's chat about this. Last week, this virus that's going around.
Yeah, which I had.
Beat the heck out of you.
Yeah.
The first of the year, early part of the year.
Just about 2 weeks after I took the flu shot, but you should still take it, though.
We don't want to say there's a correlation. We're not medical experts.
No, I know it still helps, though.
Okay. So I shared that day, I had on our calendar to talk about the myths of buying a reverse mortgage or using a reverse mortgage. Now, we talked about the fact that you still own the house and it's a lien on the property.
No different than any other type of mortgage or loan.
But I never got into I never had the time or at that day to chat at all about buying a new house with a reverse mortgage. So we know that the rules changed in the game a little bit. Can you buy a new house with a reverse mortgage?
Of course. And go back to what you said about California. I know those opposed to that idea of being able to say, well, the state's going to get less tax money. I don't think so. I think more older people instead of renting or not owning at all, now more of them will buy. And even if it's their old tax rate, it's still more money coming in than if they wouldn't buy. So,
and if they go to one of the multifamily structures, right, then they might sell their $800,000 house in Fountain Valley, buy a $400,000 condo in a multifamily, and oh yeah, somebody's buying that $800,000 house at full value, and it's probably not a senior.
Correct.
And they're going to pay full property taxes.
So,
right?
Yeah, so I think it'll increase taxes and it'll help people all at the same time.
Right, absolutely.
That's a tough one but that's what it should be. Right?
Jay, you and I are agreeing something politically. We got to write this name down.
We agree on a lot of food. You know that.
Absolutely.
We like the
absolutely.
same stuff.
So we can buy a new house with the reverse mortgage.
Yeah.
Give me an idea.
That's the smartest way to buy it for an older person.
Okay.
Older. I hate all those other because I'm one of them.
There you go.
I told you I still see a 24-year-old in the mirror, but you know.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So give me an idea. What do you need as a down payment roughly?
Roughly, before the changes here was about 50%. Now it's roughly going to be a little more than that, but I still think it's close enough to be around 50%. Now, we're talking about people primarily that have sold a home and have the kind of cash we're talking about. So for them, they're going to either be renting, paying cash for a property, or doing a HECM.
HECM is the home equity conversion mortgage, which is the technical name for
reverse.
For reverse, right.
Or, of course, they could do a normal loan, but in most cases, they probably won't qualify anymore. They could be rich, but they don't have regular income.
Absolutely. And Linda, you're right. The idea here is that this gives more inventory available for our first-time home buyers. So that's a great option right there as well.
Right.
Right. I mean, if you take that $600,000 or $800,000 house, well, that's a pretty significant number for a first-time buyer.
Yeah.
But you know something, it just allows people to push their way up.
Right. Even the middle buyer.
The middle buyer buys that $800,000 in their house.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And hopefully some more new starts.
Absolutely. So it's great for everybody. And we're going to talk more with Jay about some of the rules, regulations, and what you need to do to prepare for buying a home with a reverse mortgage. We're going to talk about that when we come back as well. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. How to talk to a credit bureau and the most affordable beach towns for 2018. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio, or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions. Just go to CreditSanitizer.com. Complete the form on there. We'll send you some credit tips each week. And if you need some help with credit repair, give me a call at 800-306-1990. Put you in touch with Alan Hayon. He can help you with that. Jeff Sipes can help you with that. They do some good jobs for our listeners as well. How to talk to the credit bureau. Now, here's the key. All the credit bureaus put this little button on their website that says dispute this or reply here or something to the effect. Never, ever push that button. Don't touch it. Because all that is, it's like a little Twitter message. So you can send them 140 characters as to what you want to say. And I'm not really good in that short of a time period, 140 characters. You know, I say hello with 140 characters. So not good there. Send in the documentation. So you may need to call the bureaus. Always follow up with whatever you're talking to, whatever you're dealing with in writing. Talk to a real person in a language that you understand and that they understand you, and follow up in writing. Now, when you send your data or your disputes in writing, you do want to make sure that you're sending it with the right format, the right documentation. That means you need to send them a copy of your driver's license or social security number and a utility bill. Attach those to it. Otherwise, they say, well, you're just having somebody else do it for you, or they dispute that you are who you say you are, and they already have that information. So if you send a bureau your social security number, yeah, they already know your social security number, so don't worry about that part of it. I do laugh at most of the bureaus when they say, well, we're not going to put your full information on the credit report because it's identity theft. Really? You just gave somebody your name, address for the last 2 years, your birth date, your social security number, and the bureau says, well, for security purposes, we didn't put the entire credit card number on the report. Well, guess what? That means that report is inaccurate, because anything that is on a credit report must be complete, it must be accurate, and it must be verifiable. Any one of those items are missing, it must come off of the report. Just the way it is. That's the Your Credit Matters segment today, brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. We are continuing our conversation this morning. Jay Kaplan is in the house. He is the reverse mortgage guru for Ron Siegel Radio. actually even away from Ron Siegel Radio, but he comes on here regularly to share with our audience. So we're talking this morning, Jay, about buying a house with the reverse mortgage.
Right.
What is the time frame? Can you do that? Can you buy the reverse mortgage? Can you buy the house using a reverse mortgage?
Yes.
In the same 12 days or 30 days you can do with a traditional forward mortgage?
12 days is pushing it.
Okay.
I think for a traditional forward mortgage too, but that's another. I don't do those anymore. All I do is the best program for the people of this age.
For the senior.
For the senior.
Right. I mean, I don't qualify, Jay. I can't get a reverse mortgage. I'm not old enough.
In spite of what you look like, you can't do it.
Yeah, you know something? I have no hair, but I still can't.
Okay, yeah.
My birth certificate has the wrong information.
A lot of these guys shave their heads so they don't have to look old, you know. But,
okay, well, I still look old, I guess.
Every time the subject comes up, and I think I've said this on this show, I heard one retired, fairly high-powered financial advisor, not an economist, but a financial advisor that did quite well, a successful one. And this was like 8 or 9 years ago when this happened. He had retired and bought another home in northern San Diego County or whatever. And he bought it with a reverse mortgage. And when I say a few years ago, it wasn't as popular then. And his peers, other financial advisors, said, why would you do something like that? And he said, well, I just paid the next 30 years rent on my home, and I still have a call option on it. So...
only a financial advisor would say something.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good argument. He's got everything that he had. Now, remember, you can still make payments all the time. You can put that for 50%-ish down. You can make payments, continue to make payments if it's a refi, or start making payments. It just gives you the chance of not having to make the payments if and when you don't want to. Make them if you've gotten some kind of a landfall, you know, some kind of a
windfall of income.
Windfall, yeah. Well, I'm thinking
landfall. Here, you know something, Jay? It's kind of interesting that you say that, because think about this with the new tax law, right? You've got a married couple now has a $24,000 standard deduction.
Yeah.
And the mortgage interest deduction would only take effect if you've got more than $24,000 of interest. So if you accumulate 2, 3, 4, 5 years worth of interest,
plus there's other things that go into the standard.
You know. But I mean, if you don't make a mortgage payment for 4 or 5 years, and you've got a $2,000 a month interest expense, so you're looking at $24,000. That's $120,000.
That's a chunk.
Now you take your RMD.
Yeah, I had a friend that did that. He had to pay. He decided to pay taxes
but you're managing it
a year's worth of thing and get the write-off to help other
So
things.
even going forward, my point is, going forward, is this gives another advantage to the senior, because they can manage that.
And remember, your heirs, if you haven't made a payment for 30 years, there is a huge tax write-off there for someone. And, of course, I'm not an attorney. You're not yet. But, you know, and tax laws change all the time.
Sure.
You know, so check it. So I believe as long as after you pass away, if it leaves the trust, if you have a trust, which you should, your heirs can take that tax write-off, but you got to make sure, you know, check with an attorney at the time. But that too is huge.
So let's think about this, Jay. Do you have to be in a 55-plus community?
No.
You can buy a house anywhere.
Anywhere.
Now, what about condos? Will a condo work?
A lot of them. A lot of condos are already approved. The thing is, with the government program, a condominium needs to be approved by FHA in advance of getting the case number to go ahead and do that loan. We don't need to worry about what that means, except that, yes, it needs to be approved. If it's not approved, it's not that difficult, provided you've got some backing by the association. I've got them done, and it's not that difficult to get it approved. Once approved, it's fine.
Is the FHA approval for a forward mortgage and a reverse mortgage the same approval? Or is it a different kind of...
Same
FHA approval. So if you're approved for an FHA condo, to buy it with an FHA loan, 3.5% down payment or whatever, you can do that if you're a senior with a reverse mortgage.
Right.
And
So
again,
it
we're
helps
using a
each
rule
other.
of thumb about
Yeah.
50% down payment.
Yeah, and that's kind of, close. There's probably, I see, I can say hello to,
Yeah.
like Brandy Edwards there. If it's the Brandy Edwards I think is listening or watching in, she's our account executive at RMF, and she's probably got one that's better than the one I just did here, but I gave this a good try.
Okay.
So,
Hi, Brandy. Glad to have you with us. Jay's doing a good job.
Great
to see you both on there. So we're looking at what other. Now there was something at one time, Jay, and I don't remember all the details of it. But when we come back, I want to talk about repairs. There were some issues that we had to deal with repairs being done. And there's a couple other little caveats. So I want to talk to you about those
when we
come back.
A line of credit, too, when you purchase.
We'll talk about that when we come back as well. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. The most affordable beach towns in 2018. We'll talk about that, and we're going to continue our conversation on the reverse mortgage, using that for a purchase. Love the idea. Reverse mortgages for purchase. Yes, it can be done. And when you sell that departing property, you don't have to move all the money forward into that. You can use that other money maybe to buy another house, or to give it to your kids, or to send it to your favorite radio morning host. Any of those things are all options that you can do. You can do anything with your money. You can reach me anytime, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 0186945 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. Word on Wealth segment today is being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage, the only company that I know that does the Fast Pass loan approval. Now, why do I mention the Fast Pass loan approval? Well, Jay actually made a comment in the last segment that I'll throw this out there. If you have the Fast Pass loan approval, you can actually close your loan very simply in about 12 days. Why? Well, because all of the underwriting is done before you ever make an offer. You've already been approved. All they need to do is get an appraisal, clear title, and any of the other contingencies, the loan contingencies, are all gone. The most affordable beach towns for 2018. I look at this list just because I really enjoy the beach. You probably have noticed if you watch us on social or follow us on social media. Most Saturdays and Sundays, I'm down around the beach walking. Yes, I go from donut shop to donut shop to get coffee, I tell my wife. But the 2017 version of the third annual study of most affordable beach towns in America. Number 1 is Gulfport, Mississippi. Number 2, Pensacola, Florida. Biloxi, Mississippi is number 3. Port Arthur, Texas. Bay, St. Louis, Mississippi. Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Freeport, Texas. Daytona Beach, Florida. Fort Pierce, Florida. And Melbourne, Florida. I noticed there was nothing on the West Coast on the list. I wonder if there's any surprises there. Yeah, nothing on the West Coast, but we will continue our conversation. That's the Word on Wealth segment, again, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. So, Linda, you made a good comment here that you had an escrow officer that used a reverse mortgage for purchasing a condo. She did not want her kids worrying about taking care of her and didn't want to make a mortgage payment. So here's the issue there, and we're going to talk to Jay Kaplan about this one as well. We did a little bit in the last segment, but you hypothetically, and I say hypothetically because I know this happens, you have a home in, I'm just going to say, Anaheim, okay? And you own it. It's an $800,000 house. $779 is the median price in the area, so $800,000 is a good number. And you've lived there for a while, so maybe you owe $100,000. You can sell it, and you net out. Let's say after all fees, you're netting out at around $650,000. Now, I want to go and buy a new house, but I don't want to be burdened with a payment. So I think I'm going to put $650,000 down on the new house. Because I'm going to go out into the desert. Now, I have no liquidity then, do I?
No.
Right? Because I got all my money tied up in real estate. Right. And it's not abnormal when you're 70, 80, 90 years old. We start seeing, unfortunately, cognitive issues. Probably becomes a pain in the neck even to get a reverse mortgage if I've got cognitive issues. It's doable.
Well, if you have a power of attorney, you're in good shape.
Right.
So
but it's another step.
Be prepared.
There you go. I mean, I didn't even have to set that up with Jay to come up with the. Be prepared. Right.
That's what reverse mortgage is about. Is being prepared. The worst case, like Wade Pfau, I've mentioned before, the worst use of a reverse mortgage, I'm quoting, is to wait until you need it to get it.
And that's any loan. Right? That's right. I mean, I don't know. Jay, you've been around longer than me.
Been around a long time, yeah.
We don't know anybody. I don't know anybody that lends money to people that are desperate.
Yeah.
Right? They lend money. If you want money, you can get all the money you want. Right? If you get
right.
Big difference there. So I'm looking at this chart here that you gave me, a cheat sheet, and if I am 70 years old and I've got $325,000.
70.
Yeah, I've got a $320,000 to put down payment. I can roughly buy it, like if I'm reading this right, about a $600,000 house.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
so
of course that down payment gets quite a bit less the older you get, but
right. So let's just use some round numbers here.
We don't want to wait.
Right. So we've got 300. We just sold our house for $650,000, or we netted out $650,000. We can go and buy another $600,000 house. Maybe we want to move out to the desert. Maybe we want to move to one of these beach cities that I was just mentioning, because I think you can probably buy a pretty significant piece of property in Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
You know, those are nice areas. I've been through. I haven't been to Florida, but those others are nice. They sure have a lot of hurricane damage.
Well, I'm looking at Port Arthur.
Let's try to stay here if we
exactly. But I'm looking at Port Arthur, Texas.
Yeah.
The median home is $64,000. Right? I mean, or you can go to Biloxi, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Median home is $149,000.
There's some huge looking, beautiful mansions on the water.
So you can get a good piece of property for $600,000 there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right now, you take that other 303 because we needed to put down 315. So now we've got another $385,000.
But you've got a lot of people that will stay in the area and buy.
Right. I'm just using hypothetical numbers. We can go anywhere.
Even the same price, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've got 300. Let's call it a round number. We've got $350,000. What can I do with the remaining $350,000?
No, there's so much you can do. What I would recommend, other than you have your own, like you say in that famous saying of yours, everybody should have a household board of directors.
Right.
So speak to financial advisor who's on your board of directors. But other than that, I would put in more than the minimum down payment.
Okay.
Because in this case, that extra becomes available to you and grows continuously.
How much more do I have to put in?
$1.
Okay, I can handle that.
I mean, I'm saying there's no thing. But if you can put an extra $50,000, $100,000, it's going to grow.
Right.
And it's never going to be stagnant. It's always going to grow, and it's always there anytime you need it. You have health problems, where are you going to take it? You could take it from your savings. You could take it from your retirement accounts. All of those things are going to hurt your, your legacy. All of those things are going to hurt your legacy. What's going to hurt less is if you take it from a continuously growing asset like your home, tax-free. The other things, especially a retirement account, is going to cost you taxes anyway.
Sure.
Plus, if you're not making payments, you've got that extra cash also. So any way you look at it, your legacy is still more protected with the HECM than without.
Now, I'm going to throw this one out there because it's something that I've been talking recently to our friend Todd Halterman about. And you take that $300,000 or some portion of it, and especially if you're younger, on the younger side, you're the 62 years that you have to be minimum. But you take that money and you give it to somebody like Todd to put into some safe, secure investments. He's got one that he and I were just talking about. It's a real estate investment that's getting a 6% return, safe and secure, paid monthly. So that's another $1,500 every month.
Yeah.
That's coming back into. So you take your Social Security money, your pension money, your qualified funds, your distribution, whatever you're doing, and add another $1,500 a month. Not bad.
No.
Right? I mean, all of these are area, and you continue and you make sure you strategize, because see, one of the things that a lot of seniors, Jay, I see do is, by definition, I don't know any seniors that did not live through the 80s. Right? And they say, well, I don't want that at the adjustable rate reverse mortgage, because I saw interest rates that went to 18% in the 80s.
But I've had it adjustable not since the early 80s or mid 80s, I guess, and it's always treated me right, including a reverse.
But there's fear. Right?
There can be, yeah.
Right, so what we want to do is, and I think a lot of times the issue with fear is, in some instances, not all, but fear gets mixed with ignorance. right? You just don't understand what we don't know what we don't know, so we've got a problem there. So the issue here is having that adjustable rate reverse mortgage with the line of credit that's continuing to grow can now then help, because the other thing that we do know about seniors is they're all getting older.
Really?
Hopefully.
Yeah,
and at some point in time, there's going to be health issues.
There's
and we want access.
70% of seniors spend some time, not always the end, but some time in a nursing type home, and that's about $9,000-$10,000 without medication every month.
And we want liquidity for
each
that
person, right?
Now, be aware, because Jay did make a comment there that I do want to get a caveat into, because even if you're in the reverse mortgage is an owner-occupied product. So if you have to move into a nursing home full-time, then you've got to make some other arrangements for the
right, but
program.
you can go into a nursing home. It's when you find out you're not going back home.
Right.
That you would notify people, and then you have a full year to have your heirs decide what to do, or whoever, or if you're going to sell it, or if there aren't heirs, it's still yours. It's actually much more lenient than a regular forward mortgage.
Especially because if you're in a nursing home and you forget to make a payment on a forward mortgage, you're in trouble.
Right. Well,
there is none on the reverse mortgage.
I mean, people say, but in California, the heirs, it's assumable, but assumable means you have to qualify, and they usually have their own house payments and things like that, so it's a pain. And
if you want more information on the reverse mortgage, give me a call, 800-306-1990. I will put you in touch with our reverse mortgage guru, Jay Kaplan. And be sure to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.